I got off that call, me and Cee Cee stayed on the call, and she will tell you, I broke down and I cried. I cried. Because Jill, you opened up some things in this city that people needed to get out of them, and it was beautiful to sit back and watch. We manifested on the first day the way that this challenge was gonna go, and we thank Jill for setting the tone. We thank Cee Cee for having the courage to get up and say, I'm gonna do this. And every day, me and this lady talked, and she did everything she could to ensure that this challenge did what it was supposed to do. That's why we have those surveys on the table, because we wanna know what you guys thought of the challenge. What did you get out of it? How did it impact you? How did it inspire you? We are gonna do some live interviews here tonight with you after we get through the speech part of this, because we really wanna know how this affected you. What can we do better next time? But I'm gonna hush my mouth and I'm gonna give this mic over to the young lady that actually put this all together. Let's give it up and stand up for Miss Cee Cee Smith. So what you supposed to do for me?
Yes, queen. As if I already went emotional over there, quiet as a mouse. Today has just been a day. Like, I woke up feeling wonderful, y'all. And it didn't go like that when I got out the bed. You know how that goes. I knew today something was gonna happen. And I made myself change my attitude today. Like, I made myself turn myself around because I knew today was the day that the Lord has made, and today is my day. It's our day. This is not, I don't look at this one mind, one body like it's my program. So I don't even treat it like that. When we on them calls, this is ours. Like, when I'm on there, y'all talking. I'm a student. I really don't even think about it like it's mine, or like, I'm a part. I need to know this stuff. Like, that's why I put the people in place, because these are the things that came from my heart that I wanted as a, young mother, the things that I felt like that people in the community, also young mothers, need. So the decisions that I made off of what I wanted in the program was very personal. I just had a baby in last October. So, every time you give birth to a child, it feels like you're starting over. When you breastfeed, your weight drops, like, you just feel like you're fresh, just like the baby. Like, so I was going through that. And like she said, I was going through a time, like, I just graduated school February 2020 when the pandemic hit. So I'm just freshly graduating college, just turning 30. So I'm trying to find my path at the same time still. I feel like I'm starting late because I graduated, after I was supposed to, just trying to figure it out. School was my thing. So then I'm like, okay, what do I do next? And who would have known that this was what the next baby would be, and what came of just wanting to do psychology. That's where I got this from, because I know that the brain is your engine for everything, faith and your mind. One time for your mind, my dude.
Right, let's go.
One time for your mind, y'all. Because we all here, we could have lost our mind so many times. I ain't got to go individually ask y'all nothing. I know you could have lost your mind. So one time for your mind. One time for yourself. Y'all look beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, we wasn't going to spoil this, but get your butt up here, because we're going to tell this testimony, and we're going to give out this, because y'all got to know why I'm so overjoyed.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even understand why I had to put my heels on today. I wasn't going to put no heels on. I was going to keep it simple, but I was like, no, we got something to celebrate. We do. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Ain't no speech.
I'm just going to stand here.
All right, y'all. So we was up here earlier. We was decorating with Kendra and Mr. Brain, Amanda. He made his left already, but we was up here decorating. Minnette picked me up. So we was leaving or whatever. So I was like, Minnette, take me by this building. I'm gonna show you this building real quick before you drop me out. So we went by the building. I said, make this right. Alright, so put up in front. See, when you got a partner, it don't matter. They don't know where you're going, but they gonna go anyway. I say, hit this right, she hit that right.
That's right.
Okay? Okay? So we pull up to the building, we sitting down in the building, we on the phone, she on the phone, we talking like, ooh, looking at her over there, we called him up. Man lived 5 minutes away. He said, I can pull up on y'all right now. I said, alright, so we said we waiting on him with him. Cause he was like, wait, I'm like, nah, he's like, come on.
Right now.
So he came, He showed us the building. We walked through and everything. We was like, this is it. So Queens in Training, Keys in Training, we officially have our own building. We got our own. Today, we woke up on this today.
Are you serious?
This is a building that I have been watching for a while. It's been for sale. They put it up for lease. And I caught it that they finally put it up for lease, so I kept saying Minnette. And what's so funny is about Connected is it was the same situation. I said, Minnette, it's a building, you gotta see it's a building. Yeah. Come on, let's go see it. Lino, it's a building, it's a building. Yeah. Same situation. Then we didn't even know Kevin. And then that's how we ended up being at Connected, because somebody else got it, but it ended up being another brother. So we ended up being able to still take part in the building that we first had a heart on. And then we got another one on the west side. On the west end. We got a building on the west end. It's right there across from the VA. That building across from the VA. That's us. That's us, baby. That's us. Okay, so we do got something. We do have something to celebrate. We have a home. Yeah. We got a kitchen.
That's all right.
And it's big, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby, it's big. It's big enough for
an auditorium.
Yep. And the Scrooge. What's up?
Do what?
It's
but y'all, I'm overjoyed. Like I said, when I woke up this morning, I knew, because you just know, like, I was like, no, I'm about to change my day.
Bus line.
Mm-hmm.
What you said?
Bus line.
Right. What you said? It's still being there on time.
So thank God.
It's right around the corner. It's right by the Miller Center where all the kids are. It's right by the neighborhoods that where we need to be in. It's close to it's walking distance. It's, so
very safe neighborhood.
The floodgates open for us, and it's on from here, y'all. Cause this ain't nothing. This is for us, and money coming up out of this. If you in there, you making some money, okay? Okay. So this how you. Thank y'all for being loyal. Like, loyalty is everything. And everybody in here has been nothing but loyal to Minnette, loyal to me, loyal to each other. Like, I love the sisterhood that we have had, that we've developed. I love my family. Y'all my family. So when I look forward to every week seeing y'all, having a relationship with y'all really mean a lot to me. This, like I said, I don't even look at this like it's mine or that, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but this is ours. This is ours. We all need it. And so the masses of this, like, that's what it's about. I'm excited. I hope y'all excited because we about to get busy. That's right. It's on.
Yeah.
That's all that's it.
Yeah.
That's why we about to party. That's why we got this dance floor. Oh, I'm dancing.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
That's why we're so giddy tonight. So.
That's why I'm so happy. I'm just over quiet. Like, God, when you have a plan for your life, and He say, baby, you don't even know the plans I got for you for real. Those are not our plans.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today. So I'm just tickled pink. So if you see me just smiling for no reason, because I'm just like, God, you are so fun. But I couldn't even keep that in. I was like, nah, we ain't gonna tell them. We just gonna wait.
Right. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
But I was like, nah, Minnette, we gotta share this blessing.
Yeah.
We gotta share this blessing. So not only are we celebrating the instructors, because that's what this is for. This is for the instructors. I want to say thank y'all so much for taking the time out for us. Thank you so much for putting your hearts into this, making it personal, making it transparent, because you don't have to tell us anything. You can make it look good for the people, make it cute, but that ain't the truth. You decide to be transparent and raw. That's me, and I love it. That's why I got you on here. I know who I got on there. The people that's like me, the people that's gonna keep it real, who don't mind telling where they come from, because that's what we need. We don't need that. So that's why this is for. I don't want it to end. I don't feel like y'all want it to end. So I'm ready. Like, I hope y'all ready to touch some people our way. This is the way we gonna do it. We're gonna do something different. And however, whatever, if y'all instructors got other things that y'all want us to be a part of, or that y'all wanna do within us, like, it's nothing. It ain't no script to this, like, to be honest. It's just joy, love, peace, and whatever we see fit. Yeah, we just run with it, and I love it. Hope y'all love it. Love y'all. Let's eat. Let's have fun.
Y'all give her a hand. That's a blessing we got today. We did not expect that today. So, so much, Queen. Thank you. Yes, we got blessed today. I'm going to tell you, when we left out of here, she said, make that turn. Y'all must hit the curb. Because when we went and saw that building, I never expected it to be years, and when we walked away, that it would be hours. So, all those little, that youth entrepreneurship program, here we come. Here we come. Let's go. Give yourself a hand.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kendra. I appreciate you for the flowers. All right, we're going to move right along. I got to take this time right now to thank two people. Every day on the 21-day challenge, I watched who was coming on the call. I watched who stayed on the call. I counted how many days everybody that came on that call was on there. There were two people that came on that call every single day. Every day. And these two people, I don't care if they were sitting in their car, if they had just got home from work. That one day, that young lady, she was so tired. We were doing, I think it was it Zumba? No, we was doing fitness. And I could see her on the Zoom on the couch doing an arm like this. She was going to get it. And I could hear the instructor say, go girl. But you know, even though she was doing that, she was on this call, she was there. She was there and she was tired. Y'all can see it in her face. She was tired. Even the instructor kept saying, I know you tired, girl, but let's go. Let's go. And she was on there, and she was on there every day. I remember one day she came on there, she said, y'all, I just got out of work, I'm in my car, but I'm on here. I was like, yes. This other person, he was on the call he was on there every day. He never said hardly anything. Every now and then, he would say a couple words on the call, but you always saw the Galaxy S10 on the call. So I knew who it was. But let's give it up for Amanda and Kenneth, because they were on them calls every single day. I don't care where they were. They were on the calls. You two come up here. Let's give them a hand. I got something for you two. Come on up here. And for y'all that don't know, this is my brother, right? It's my oldest brother. Thank you so much for giving up your time to be on those calls every day. You were at work many days, and your phone was on, and you was listening to those calls. So thank you, bro, so much. Love you.
Love you.
Amanda, let's go.
That's my dog.
Yes. Girl, in the midst of you tired, you was on them calls. That is persistence. That is motivation. That is determination. Because I could see the tiredness in your face. That day you came to my house, y'all. We was on a Zoom call. She came to my house, y'all. I turned around. She was like this. Now right on sleep. But she was on the call on her phone in my house. We were in the same room, me, her, and Kenny. All of us in the same room on the same call. But you were on that call every day, and I didn't care how tired you were. So thank you.
I came straight from work.
Yes, see, look at it. Diligence. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Give her a round of applause, y'all. Both of them. Thank you. See, that's what this is about. Acknowledging people for the great things they do. They didn't have to be on them calls every day. And don't worry, because the rest of y'all that was on them calls, we got something for y'all too. But right now, we're going to give y'all certificates and everything, but I got to introduce y'all to somebody. Last year, we were here, and we crowned 18 young women in this room. And you got your crown on, stand up. Stand up. Y'all, these are queens in training. Give them a hand.
Well, we ain't got our hand.
Even if you're in training, queens in training, stand up. You were crowned in this room, stand up.
Amen.
Last year, when I crowned these young ladies, Miss Jeanette McKinnon had come down, and I told her, she came here with this crown, and I said, I want that crown you got on your head.
Yes, Lord.
And we took a picture, y'all, of me like this, with her with that crown on.
Yeah.
She said, Shariel, she said, you want this crown, you're gonna get it. I said, okay, what do I need to do to get it? And so she introduced me to the Miss Regal Elegance North Carolina pageant. And I will tell you, y'all can sit down, ladies, thank you. I will say this, the moment me and her stood in this room that day, I never thought in a million years that I would go down there and win this crown. And she was the one that crowned me, you guys.
Yes, she was.
She was the one that crowned me. So when you talk about manifestation and putting it in the air and believing it and going out to get it, y'all, this is what happens, because we stood right in Sabrina's place in this same spot, and I told her I wanted that crown, and look at God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, recognize, he'll do what he say he will do. Same title she got. And actually, we went down there and won the highest title in the pageant. And y'all will tell you, I gotta tell you this, Jeanette, when they called my name, I almost freaked out. Because as I listened at the person that won, because y'all had to actually hear what they said, you know, of the person that won this acknowledgement. When they called my name, it was like, wow. I didn't realize that I set that many standards when we went down there. Yes, not only me, but Angela. Y'all gotta give it up for her. Cause I'm gonna tell you, that girl, she didn't only go down there with me, but she went down there for every queen that was there. She helped everybody that was there, not just me. She was up with me, y'all, at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was up getting makeup done, hair done, everything I needed, she was there doing it for us. But what I'm saying is, Jeanette, I am so honored to have you here tonight, because this is really probably the second time that I've seen you since you crowned me. But y'all, she is here tonight because she has a wonderful story to tell. And she got to tell me bits and pieces at the Camouflage and Pearls brunch, but I want her to tell you guys herself, because the 21-day challenge is also about women like her. We may see her with this crown, and we may see the works that she's done out here, but y'all ain't gonna believe the story this lady has to tell. So I'm gonna hush my mouth, and I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Jeanette McKenna. Y'all give her a hand.
Thank you for having me here. I wanted to say, this is a beautiful thing, because to see how the young lady got up here and sung, and the way she say dream catchers. And if you look in this room and you look at what you was up here talking about, it's all about connection. If you are in the right direction, and if you are where God wants you to be, you will catch the blessing.
Yes.
And if you're not there, he return your blessing to sender, which is back in your storage. And later on, you're going to want to have that encounter with God with a storage with your name on it. And you're going to want to know what is behind that door. And you're going to see all these boxes in there that say houses, careers, money, all the things that you have asked God for. And he's been listening, but he's been trying to give it to you. But because you was not where he told you to be and be obedient, you missed the blessing. So to say that, you have to be where you're supposed to be. And if you connect yourself with like-minded people, when they are blessed, you will be blessed. So it makes you realize that the people that you connect yourself with, make sure they are people that are going to take you where you're going to go. Because when the enemy comes, he comes at full force. He's going to do everything he can to prevent you from getting the blessing that God has for you. And you have to be hated. You have to be talked about. You got to be looked down upon. The naysayers and the accommodators is going to talk about you, and nothing you're going to do is going to be right to them. Their job is to do everything possible to knock you down. But you got to stand fast and trust God when you can't trace him. Because he's going to lead you, even though you cannot see air is there, but you know it's there. And that's how God works. So just be patient. And like y'all was being patient, now you have your own home where you can be able to have queens in training. See, faith without works is dead. And God seen all the work that you was doing. When you were thinking that people was overlooking you, when you was thinking that nobody was paying attention to the stuff that you was doing, when you thinking they wasn't paying attention, they was. Even though they was not congratulating you, helping you. And it'd be your family sometimes. It'd be your closest friends, the people that you would think they're supposed to be there, and they are not there. And sometimes strangers will come and help you before your own.
That's right.
But that is okay.
Right.
Because I realized it's just like an elevator. When you get on and you go up, you're supposed to send the elevator back down.
Yes.
Speak, Queen.
So someone else can get back on.
Come on, yes.
It's enough out here for everyone to win. But we are fingers. And if we put our hands together, we become a mighty fist.
Woo, speak.
So we need to learn. You can be the blueprint. Y'all can be the blueprint in this community right here to not only just change here, but reaches out to other counties in North Carolina, because this what happened when you lose the I in illness and drop it to a we, it become wellness.
Yes, speak.
See, I in illness means sick. Nothing can grow. It's weeds in your garden. How you gonna sow a seed and your harvest is a mess? But when you drop the I in illness and put WE, it becomes wellness.
Yes.
Because nobody is great by themselves.
Yes.
No one.
Yes.
This is not what it is by
right.
one person.
That's right.
It takes a village. So if you all come together and be the blueprint, because no one can make a copy of anything without consulting the blueprint.
That's right.
You can be the blueprint. So the next young lady can do the exact same thing you're doing to reach others. See, this is how God works. He uses you as a vessel to show others that He is God.
Yes.
And then someone who doubted what they can do and see what you're doing is to push them to do the same thing to reach other people in other places.
That's right.
It was never meant for you to be blessed for you to keep it all to yourself.
Exactly.
Right. That's
You
right.
turn your mess into a message,
Yes.
your trials into a triumph,
Yes.
your pain into purpose, and no longer be the victim and become a victor. Part of what it is that she's talking about, because what you see upon me right now is a young lady that has been through a lot. But I have realized that God did not prevent the snake from biting me. He prevented the venom from killing me. But I realized that me going through what it is that I'm going through was His divine order to get me to where He wanted me to be.
Yes.
See, only the strong survive.
Yes.
And yes, I was leading in the path of death, but God pulled me right out of it. And now my mess is a message. My book behind it, Metamorphosis of a Battered Woman, is talking about how a woman can go through the different stages just like a butterfly to survive. It's a lot of us in here that have been through some things that we can put our head in our purses and be shamed. But it takes only a strong person to lay their skeletons out in the closet and do that so it can save the next person and no longer go through what it is that they're going through.
Exactly.
So, and it's okay. Because like I said, your mess will turn into your message. I was married to a man that verbally, mentally abused me in every way. I stayed in that marriage because I was in that situation where I was longing for something that I should have already had for myself. See, the organization that you have is the key to break the cycle of abuse. Because sometimes the blueprint that some young ladies have at home is not what they need to copy.
Yes. Yes.
And you could be that one young lady that can touch that person and show them what is right and what's wrong. But when you seen all your life abuse, you grow up and you normalize something, and it becomes a normal thing to you. Chaos is normal in some people's lives. Seeing someone getting beat is normal to someone because they feel like if they didn't leave and stay, well, I should stay.
That's right.
And we begin to take on some things that we shouldn't have to take on. I was that young lady that took on some things that I seen, didn't realize it was not normal, and grew up becoming the very same thing I seen. And it's not right. But I had to go through that, and I'm doing this not for me, but for my granddaughter.
Yes.
And her daughters,
That's right.
and their daughters, to no longer ever be a victim and allow someone to abuse you. When someone hits you, they're going to hit you again. It's not just emotional or physical, it's emotional abuse as well. Someone has a way of tearing you down with their words. That is abuse. Sexual abuse, and they're forcing you to do something that you don't want to do, touching you inappropriately. There's also financial abuse. There are some women that is in the household. They are the wife. They do not work, and the man is the one that handles the whole household. But when you do not do what I ask you to do, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to pay this, and they holding the funds that's needed to take care of the household, that is abuse. And then there's also spiritual abuse. It's a lot of people that is in church. Their husband is preaching heaven and giving a wife hell at home. It's a lot of women is in spiritual warfare because the God that they thought they seen in their husband, they see of the devil. So it's a lot of women that's going through these different stages, and they are all colors.
Yes. Yes.
They are all ages. That's why we need to teach our young girls now the proper way to date. Having someone to control your every move and what you do is not a good thing. That's sign number one. Little girls think it's cute and he want me all to yourself and this, but that's sign number one of you being in bondage. Bondage. And see, that's what the enemy lives. He lives in cold places. He don't want you to be around any love, any support, anywhere where there's happiness. He wants you to be isolated. He wants you, see, the devil plays with an idle mind. So when you're by yourself, he will begin to make you feel like you're not enough, that you're not beautiful enough, that you're not worthy. And he will make you feel less than, and you will settle for less than. But I want you ladies to know that you're not the item that's on the discounted rack with the button missing or something torn. You are the item in the window. You are the one that's worth everything it is that make a person want to come in and purchase you. Remember, you are a Bentley. You're not a Toyota. You don't need a commercial to know your worth. Have you ever seen a Bentley commercial? No. And you never will, because they know the ones that comes there got the money. They ain't asking about the price. They know what they want, and they're willing to do whatever they need to have it. And that's how you need to approach, someone need to approach you in your life. That they know who you are, but you set the tone on how people treat you. You set the tone. Yes. See, when there's a tornado, everything around it is moving, but there's peace in the eye of the storm. And at the end of the day, when I was going through my warfare and my own Holocaust, and we all, some of us going through our own personal Holocaust, and when I was going through that, I can honestly say, in the peace of the eye of my storm was God within me telling me to leave. But it had to take me to leave. But I don't want y'all to do that. I don't want y'all to lose, to get out of a situation. Sign number one, you run. You got to love you enough to never settle for anything that is not going to give you nothing but love. Remember, y'all all are sitting at tables. And you got to be okay with being able to sit at that table alone.
Big queen.
You all are sitting at tables. But you got to be able, including men, you got to be able to be okay with sitting at the table alone. Do get up from any table that's not serving you love, respect, loyalty, kingdom, queendom. If you're not getting that, then you get up, ask for your check, pay your way out of it. Because I'm going to tell you something, when you're going through something, a part of you leave too. Do you got a bottle of water and a cup?
Man, you ministering right now.
Because when you're going through something, pieces of you is leaving.
That's right.
And you become mosaic. Mosaic is pieces of glass that's broken all over the floor. Someone was carrying your heart who was not worthy of carrying it, and it was too heavy. And it's not that what you're asking for was too much. It's just that they was not the one that could sit in that position. Because that's an example of ordaining marriages that God never told you to do.
Right.
But you telling everybody else, God said.
That's right.
But God ain't
Right.
said
That's
nothing.
Right. That's right.
You ordain that marriage. I ordain my marriage.
That's right.
But see, there's a price for everything that you do. Anything that you do without God, you will lose.
Yes.
And you will pay a major price. Open this top for me, sweetheart. Angela is a blessing. Do you hear me? I'm going to tell you something. She being in your life is, honey, when I tell you God will bring disciples,
Yes.
and when you being faithful, you being blessed too. Because see, something in what she's doing is going to be something that you're going to do. That's going to be passed on to you. I don't feel like this is going to be all for you too.
That's right.
Because they are training you
Right.
to be them.
That's right.
So you take the blessing and you suck it in. Because this is what it's all about.
That's right.
So when I say this is you, and see, I had to learn too. This is my body. And every time he lied, every time you being abused, every time somebody talk about you and you run and cry because you don't know how to stand, every time somebody told you was nothing, every time somebody told you was not worthy and you believed the enemy, when you seen your mama get beaten, when you grew up and start getting beaten, when you start losing everything you touch and not realizing that you're not going to get the blessing because God is only going to give you on the level of your integrity.
Yes.
Some of us ain't ready
Yes, Queen.
for what it is that we praying for.
That's right.
It's like a bag with a hole in it.
That's right.
Every time you put yourself through something, you ordaining that marriage. You sitting up there stealing and don't realize that what you doing, nobody else see. God is taking right from you. Every time you get knocked down, every time you sit up there and do anything that is of God, you become depleted. We're going to say this is empty. That is you, wasted. Wasted blessings. Because you're not putting what's within you in the right place. That's why it's so important to give from your saucer and not your cup.
Yes.
When you give from your saucer, that is your overflow.
Yes.
When I fix me a cup of coffee and I pour that a cup of coffee and I allow that cup of coffee to flow over into my saucer, just in case it spills, that's the rim. All the extra coffee in the saucer is what I can give others. And see, this is what I'm talking about is for y'all. For the ones that's about to run this. Because I'm going to tell you something. The enemy is mad. So get ready. Get ready. Because for every blessing, the devil coming behind.
That's right.
So you got to understand that some of us is made out of the fire. That's why we don't run when we see it.
Yes, yes, yes.
We ain't gonna run from nothing that we've been made out of. That's why I love a lotus, a flower, because it's made not from the pretty grass, it's made out the mud.
That's right.
Because when you get it out the mud, you appreciate it when you have it.
Yes, yes.
And you'll hold on to it a lot more. But like I say, the message about the saucer, when you're in the realm of giving to others and helping others, now we got to understand that we're not going to be able to give it all. It got to be a balance, because what will happen, you will pour so much out on others that you won't have anything for self. Because a lot of us that's surviving is also suffering. We're surviving and suffering. But you got to get in the part of reciprocity. Anybody know what that is? Where you take something that you have and transfer it over. Get around people who not always takers.
Yes, yes.
Who's willing to give. It's a balance, because what will happen, you will give everything that's in your cup. And when this person need me, this person need me, and you pouring and pouring and pouring, and before you know it, guess what? You're empty out, and you're looking for those same people to turn around and fill you up, but you be hurt and surprised when they don't. And you got to understand that don't take it personal. It's a lesson out of it. Because when you give someone something, it was never meant for you to get it back in return.
You better speak, Queen.
And they ain't obligated to do it. But you got to pick and choose who you sow seeds into. Because some people come in your life and sit up under your tree for shade, to talk about what other people doing, and throw shade to others. Is something that's there to just sit there and rest for a little bit because they hot right now and they need to get the information out you, and then once they get it, then they go.
That's right. Yes.
Then there's some that's picked from your tree. They eat from your fruits of your labor.
That's right.
And they benefit from your fruits of your
Speak,
labor.
Queen.
And they eat off you, but yet don't turn around and bring more seeds so you can grow more.
That's right. Speak, Queen.
And then you also got those branches. And you got the leaves. And they are your constituents and your comrades. They are meant to not be there forever. They are seasonal people. And it's okay. Some people's not meant to be in your life forever. Some are just only meant to be there for that time. They teach you a lesson and then move on. Nothing personal. It's just that your time is up. And then you got people like Angela, this young lady, your roots. They are the ones that's going to hold you up. They're going to be there when everything else fall apart. The roots is there. They are the ones that's your nutrients. They the one keep you alive. They keep you going even though you look dead on the outside. Because they're working behind the scenes to give you what it is you need so you will not crumble away. And see, you got to know the differences between the three people in your life. They are your constituents, your confidants, and your comrades. Your confidants are the ones that's going to hold you down. They're going to love you to the end of time. They're going to be there for you when nobody else there. They don't care if you got 5 cents to 5 million. They are there. They got you like no other 4 flat tires. They are there. They are your one that you can tell a secret to and they will take it to your grave. They are your confidants. Those are the people that you need to keep in your corner. The very same thing we need to love, that we love to use, is our phone. Go through your phone list and pay attention to the names and the calls and all those, and then categorize your people on those levels. If they are a confidant, they love you to the end. A comrade, a constituent, is something they act like a confidant. In other words, they act friendly, but they only there for the motive. Remember, the constituents does everything a confidant does. They love you, they act sweet, but they only there for the purpose. And once they got what they want from you, they're seasonal. They will disappear. But they was only there for the purpose. But then you also got your comrades. They are the ones that what you see is what you get. They done told you how they schemed somebody else to get something that they want. And then you're shocked when they do it to you.
That's right.
A comrade is what you see is what you get. That is what it is. They done told you how they is. They done told you how they gonna do this and that, and then you're shocked when it's done to you. Their only motive is to use you.
Exactly.
And the moment you can't do what it is that they need out of you, they are gone.
That's right.
But they already showed you who they are. They ain't hide it. You knew. So in your life and in your journey of you going in this transition of getting your own place, you got to understand that those type of 3 people gonna come, but you're gonna have to weed them out to know which one is for you. Because just like God can give you something, the enemy coming for those to steal it.
That's right.
And so you got to be prepared. And see, me, I was in a situation where I was being abused. I'm talking about in every kind of way. I was being abused. I stayed in that marriage, knew it was no good for me. I knew. Part of me already knew, but see, I was looking for love in his hands that I supposed to have already had for myself. It's like a codependency thing. I don't feel like I'm enough without it. And we get so sucked into our marriages and the things that we have in the marriage that we will actually stay put in that relationship for the house, for this, for the financial stuff, for the, the stuff that don't mean anything, because you worth more than those things. But we would stay in that situation to keep those things. And the power that you're giving that person, they're using it to keep control of you in every way. And it's they puppeteering you. Every move you make is because of them pulling your strings. But it's time to cut those strings off and start moving on your own beat. Staying in that situation put me in a bad situation when I came home. Well, he came home and I was in bed. I didn't answer the door on time. I don't know if he, in his mind, and a lot of them are insecure. And he felt like somebody must have been in the house. Wasn't nobody in the house. But in his mind, somebody had to be there. So he dragged me to the tub. He cut the tub on, put the stopper in the tub. Now mine, I'm not paying attention to. I'm thinking he's getting prepared for him to take a bath. But then when the water got to the level that he wanted to be in, the plan was for me to go in that tub and to drown me in that tub, because let me tell you something, I seen the face of Satan. Have y'all ever seen the movie Split? Yes. Where the man became a beast and he became strong. Yes. Let me tell you something, when the devil get a hold of somebody, the strength that they have is like no other. They're not even of themselves. Because there's nowhere in the world that the thickness of the woman I am, for him to be able to lift me on one hand, and the strength that he had to slam me down in that tub and put my head on the water. And the only thing I can say is Jesus. Do you understand me?
That's right.
It's a scary thing when your head is underwater and the strength of a man holding you down, and you're pulling on curtains, you're pulling on him, and the force is stronger than you. And you realize this ain't a natural human force. Yes. Because I seen the face of Satan. Because when he lifted me, there's no way in the world he could have did that on his own. And he slammed me down. And I'm going to tell you, it takes you to be near death to understand God is real.
Yes.
Because he will pull you out of your mess.
Yes.
Like I told you earlier, God allowed the snake to bite me, but he wouldn't let the venom kill me. He wanted the snake to bite me because he wanted me to learn something from this.
Yes.
You wanted this, right?
Right.
I'm going to let you have it. But I'm going to be there at the very nick of time. And he did. And he put my neighbor at 4-something in the morning now. She should have been knocked out asleep. But in Fairwood, where I was staying at, there was like townhomes. So the certain parts of your house is connected to the other person's house. At 4 in the morning, she should have been in bed. And she heard me screaming. And she bammed on the wall and said, Jeanette, I'm calling the police. And he pulled me up. Had it not been for Candy Spikes, I would have been dead. Had it not been for her. And he ran. Now mine, I had, I'm big and pregnant, about to have this baby. I start seeing blood coming down my legs. Now, the ambulance come, I had an emergency C-section. They come to find out I had a placenta abrupto. That means from that slam, my baby placenta detached away from me in the inside. So not only was I going through war, my child was too.
Yes.
For every hit, he felt it. For every kick, he felt it. For every push, he felt it. And God said, enough. So when we had the emergency C-section, and when my child came out the womb, he was alive. But when you are detached away from your mother for a long period of time, you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain. You're suffocating in the womb. And me laying there, and then I remember the lady said, I'm gonna put you to sleep, because it's something that she did not want me to see at the time. And I remember going to sleep, but when I woke up, my son was alive. But when they come to find out you have 0 brain waves. They had to do a test because certain things was not clicking, with pain. It's certain tests that they do, that your child should do all those things, but he wasn't doing it. So not only I'm tore up physically, and now I'm looking at a child, but I'm gonna tell you something. For me to look at my newborn child, that I am his mother, supposed to protect him. And I allowed the boogeyman to come in. I allowed the boogeyman to come in and to harm him. And the boogeyman could be his own father. Like little girls get touched all the time by their loved ones. And mama don't believe it.
Yeah.
But you keep allowing the boogeyman in to do harm. And me laying there with resentment and guilt. I have a mercy C-section. My child is laying here. And I am asked to what to do. At this point, they confirm he's in vegetative state. It's nothing else that they can do for him. For me to imagine you stayed in a mess and caused a bigger mess by staying in it. That's why I say, don't wait to lose to finally say, okay, I'm ready to go.
Exactly.
Don't wait to go through what I went through to say it's time to go. But for me to be able to look at my child, and this is the thing, y'all, he had a mark on his eye. Now mine, nobody outside beat him, but that's where he was getting whooped. Thrown against a rib cage here, pushed here. And anybody know when you are in water and you are in force of motion, it's hard. It's like a brick wall. So for my child to have bruises on him, fresh out the womb, God said, peace, be still. And me had to look at my child and give them the okay to let him go. Because I felt like I had put him through enough. And as a mother to hold your child, and it's gone. And you know you're a part of it. And see, it took, and that's why I say I thank God that I am not on drugs, have not killed myself. Because when you go through something like that, it's enough to push you over the edge. But I had so much resentment and anger towards myself for what I allowed. But I realized something in me say, but this was not your battle. You shouldn't have never stepped in the ring. You can't beat your opponent on their battlefield. You got to take him in yours to win. And that's in prayer. Sometimes you have to allow them to say what they need to say. Do what they want to do. Because the moment you step in, you're going to take blow by blow, hit by hit, pound for pound, and he's going to knock you out. But the only way you're going to beat the enemy, you got to take him higher. Take him on unfamiliar territory.
Yes.
Start throwing scripture at him.
Yes.
Start saying, I plead the blood of Jesus. Start doing those things because see, the enemy will flee. But I, at that time, did not know that. You understand what I'm saying? Because I was pound for pound. But didn't know every time I stepped in the ring, he was knocking me out. And then in return, knocked my child out. And then I had in my head, why he didn't take me and not my child? Because I felt guilty. But part of your healing, when you go through something as a woman, you got to ask God for forgiveness. And then, when you ask God for forgiveness, you take back the power. Nobody has the power to use what I went through against me. It don't hurt me anymore because I'm healed from it. When you ask God for forgiveness, you get the power back. And me going through what I was going through now, mine, I lost a child. I'm all messed up. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do now, next. Under stress, blow to the head, I had stitches from the inside of my head to the out of my head. Stitches by my eye. And did not know a clot was forming in the back of my head. Now mine, as a young lady, I had a stroke. I have lost the ability to move one side of me. I done lost my child. Do you understand what, imagine losing your ability to function on one side. You lost a child. All this behind wanting to stay in a relationship like that. It's not worth it. You worth preserving. Forget the relationship and the marriage. But for me to bury my child, to go through therapy to regain some of the strength in me. And I'm young, and you in the stores, and people saying, what happened to you? Because I was dragging, at one point, I was dragging this whole side. When I look in the mirror, God left a reminder in me. But I look at it as a war wound. I don't have feeling at the bottom of my mouth. In this area, on this side, I lost sensation because he destroyed the 7 candle nerve, which control the facial movement. And I used to hide from it, hated the mirror, didn't want to take pictures. But like I said, when you go through a metamorphosis, something happened. When you surrender it all to him.
Yes.
I'm talking about surrender it all.
Surrender.
Surrender it all. A new you arrives. When I got baptized at Jonesville Baptist Church, a new me happened. Because I was a whole nother Jeanette at that time. And I had to embrace my own imperfections. I had to look in the mirror and be okay with what I seen in the mirror. Even though someone always told me I wasn't worthy, I say I was. And I started fixing myself up, loving on myself more. I asked God for forgiveness. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that a lot of people were shocked that I did. I forgave him. I had to. Because if I didn't forgive him, he still controlled me.
Yes.
He ain't even got to be in the room physically. But if a person got your mind, they got your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to forgive him, not for him, but for me. Because I have to move on. I have to go on with my life. And I can't dwell on what he did. And then I had to take responsibility for my part in it. We don't want to talk about that. Because think about many relationships that we was in. That the door was never locked. You could have walked out at any time. But you chose not to leave. It's like a bird with a cage in it, and the door is wide open. It will not leave. Nina Simone, that song Blackbird, it just does something to me. I'm telling you, it's a lot of us is in our own way of our blessings. But the moment I left that situation and healed, and when I healed, I have promised God that since you saved my life, that I'm going to do everything I can to save others.
Yes.
Educate them. Because a lot of people don't know it's nothing wrong with it. They think nothing is wrong with being abused. It's normal to them. And my job is now to just educate others. Let them know. If I have to lay my skeletons out, I don't care how nobody look at me. But I got to do what God told me to do. It ain't about me anymore. Tell your story so you can save this young lady. And God will bless you. He will bless you for the sacrifice that you was willing to be talked about, mocked, kicked, and abused, and all for him. The sacrifice. And I did that. And yeah, at first I was nervous to let people know because I didn't want people to look at me no type of way. But listen, it's a lot of us got some stuff
Yes.
that you won't believe.
Yes.
You ain't the only one going through something.
That's right.
So now my mission is to educate and save young ladies. And I have an organization called Purse of Love. The reason why I do purses, because when a woman have a purse, you can't tell me you don't feel good. But I'm going to give you a purse with not just for the look of it, but for you to get love in it.
Yes.
Get personal items. Get a little message in there, a notepad or something that you can write. The beauty of healing yourself over any personal Holocaust is to write.
Yes.
You put on the top, dear God, and yes, you're going to have teardrops dried all over that paper.
Yes.
And you're going to have teardrops all over that paper when you're done. And when it dry, it's amazing how the tears stay.
Oh, yes.
But you go back and you look at yourself a year ago when you have written that on that very day, and you get in there and shout and praise God because you overcame something that the enemy had set out to kill you. You write because you want to remember. Not to relive it, but to remember how far you came.
Yes.
Write down your thoughts. Today's date, this is how I'm feeling. Even if you write a sentence. And go back a year from now and look at what you write about yourself today. And you see growth. You see how you're transitioning into the woman God wants you to be. Not just what you want, but what he wants you to be. And it's all about you walking in his kingdom, not yours. Because sometimes we want to do one thing, but God may have another plan. But sometimes you got to give up that thing to get better, to get more. So I say this and I leave this message with you all. Never sit at a table with a butcher knife there. And he's leave you with a ticket full of resentment and pain and hurt. And you're left to add the tip to it. And he gets to get up and leave you there with all the damages. I want you to look at the menu and look at what he has to offer you. He don't have a menu in his hand, but he's giving you one. And in this menu, he is to give you this menu to show you, not only to tell you, but show you what it is he has to offer. Never tell someone what you want. When they ask you what you want in a woman, what do you want in a man? You just be yourself, and I'll figure out if you are it. Because people will put on a mask.
Yes.
And everything you say you wanted, they will betray.
Yes, you better speak. Yes.
And that included friends and everything. They will be the one dependable. They will please you in bed. They will do this and do that. And they will do all those things to get you to where they want you. Never give them your expectation of what you want. It's okay to talk about what you stand for and what you want, but I want you to be yourself. And that way it would determine in me whether or not if you are in the friend zone, I wish I never met you, or somebody I can pursue with. And that is the biggest mistake, because we was always told to tell them what you want. And you can tell them, but they will take all that information and will do it for that short amount of time to get. You gave them the blueprint to copy what it is you say you want as a man. Now they're copying. So let them be themselves. And it's only fair to allow people to be themselves. It's so unfair to make people be something that they ain't. Allow them to be themselves, because everybody is for somebody, and that person might not be it. And it's okay. But let them be themselves. And when I went through the healing process of all of this, when you're ready to break out the cocoon and ready to fly, and the reason why I love butterflies, because they are so beautiful. And when you see a butterfly, you see the colors. They are fragile and they are beautiful. But if you ever notice, the butterfly don't even know how beautiful they are, because their eyes is in front and the wings are behind them. They don't even know how they look. And a lot of us need to be reminded that you are beautiful, that you are enough, even if you don't see it, say it. When you get up in the morning, you brushing your teeth, you say something to yourself every morning. Because you set the tone how people treat you. You only are what you say you are. And if you don't know who you are, people will tell you who you are. And you don't have no choice but to believe it. So do those exercises in the 21-day challenges. All that information that they have been giving you to bring out a better you. Because you can't expect to do better and not do the work. The tools are there. If you want to lose the weight, eat right. If you want to make a change in your career, you say you're sick of your job, go back to school so you can get a better job. If you want a house, you got to learn how to pay your apartment bills on time. God ain't going to give you something that you ain't ready for. And you mad that you see everybody else getting it, but you can't get the blessing if you're not doing the right thing now. You want that business? See, entrepreneurship is only for the strong, it ain't for the weak. Cause it's gonna be some times where you ain't gonna make not a dime.
Ain't that the truth?
You're gonna work 12 hours, ain't nobody came. You done put 20 hours into writing this book, ain't nobody bought one. But you got to trust God, you know you can't trace him, and you got to believe in you. And if you keep being faithful, the blessing will come. But the ones who throw their hands up and leave, they miss out. So I'm telling you, if you want to make some changes in your life, don't wait for nobody else to tell you what you need to do. Maybe you need to be the one thing in the household to make everyone else change.
Yes.
Because a house divided will not stand.
Yes.
But I'm going to tell y'all something. After everything I went through, you would think that would make me run away from ever being in a relationship again or going through anything like that. But I'm going to tell you something. When you go through something, you got to be turned upside down to be right side up.
Yes.
And sometimes you got to go through something to know the difference what's right and what's wrong. But I'm going to tell you something. When you go through something, some strength come out of you, out of nowhere, because the standards that you have today, after you done went through the mud, you ain't taking no mess from nowhere, nobody else. And I'm thankful for you, Mike. This is my best friend. Because at the end of the day, after everything I went through, and knowing, and it's a hurtful thing when a person know what you went through and then take you back through it.
Speak.
Know everything you went through and then take you back through it.
Speak. Yes.
But I am grateful that after everything that I went through, I did not give up on love. For God is love.
Yes.
You don't supposed to be fearless with love because we are the first one to introduce someone what love is. When you push that baby out the womb, you are the first person to introduce love. So why be fearless with it when we invented it? You just got to pick and choose who deserve your time, your love, and your energy. And I am grateful to you, Mike, because you showed me the difference between what is right and what is wrong. It took me to be with him to see me. See, when you go through somebody that has been abused, take patience. And he got the patience of Job, honey. Because it takes patience. Because we're nervous. We're anxious sometimes. Because you like, no, I'm not going. Any little thing will make you think it's a red flag, but that's the enemy. And when you grew up with nothing but noise and yelling and fussing, and when somebody come in and show you calm, when somebody can sit you down and say, it's a way that you can tell me what you want without all the extra. And the purpose of being with a mate is to exchange powers. See, I didn't have that. But when there's a negative, there's a need to be a negative, and there also need to be a positive to make energy. That's why the battery is a negative and a positive. You got to have both to make something. But it's a mighty thing when we exchange power and we can make some stuff come alive.
Yes.
Because ain't nothing like when a man will pray for you.
Mm.
When he'll hold your hand and show you that, yes, I'm sorry what this person did. But I'm not him, and I'm going to show you I'm not.
Yes.
And I thank you for showing me. And being there for me and showing me that there is a such thing as love effectively, correctly. Love that gives life and not death. And I thank you because you have been a blessing to me, my kids, my granddaughter. You have been my best friend. You have been there for me through it all. And I thank you because when I cry, when I scream, when I go through my moments, you still hold me, even when it's hard to love me. So thank you. So I'm telling you, for any woman that's been hurt, been going through something or been mistreated, don't never give up on love. Because not all love is bad. That's what the enemy wants you to think. God is love. And it can't be bad. I'm telling you, it can't. It can't. So y'all, I thank y'all for the time, giving me the time to just speak with you all. I hope everything that I told you all, that you take it in. Because a lot of us sit up here and we look at a penny. And yeah, it's bigger than a dime, but a dime is worth more.
Yes.
So a lot of us looking for bigger things. Sometimes what you need is you right there. It might not be as big as that penny, but I'm worth so much more. And I'm going to hold on to mine.
Yes.
So I just recommend you all to pay attention to what you have, because I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies.
That's right.
I don't need 100 friends. As long as I got a fruit, I'm okay with the few I have. But they what I need. So take everything that you went through with the 21-day challenges. Take what I laid out to you all, some stuff that somebody would leave here and say, well, what kind of woman would allow this to happen? But it's okay. A woman who didn't know no better, but know better. When you know better, you do better.
Yes.
And I'm okay. So now my snake wound is healed. And I got lie down around me. And that's prayer and good friends and people who support me. And now the enemy, that snake, has no welcome in my harvest. Y'all have a blessed one.
Call up, and this certificate says just this. This certificate is proudly presented for honorable achievement to their name for the completion of the 21-day Health is Wealth Challenge on behalf of One Mind, One Body Incorporated and Great Women in the United Incorporated. We present you with this certificate on behalf of our organization for the completion of the 21-day Health is Wealth Challenge on behalf of Sierra Smith and myself. All right, so let's get it going. Also attached to these certificates, each one of you were given community service hours for every time you were on that call. So if you need community service hours for anything, I just gave you some for being on the 21-day challenge. Awesome? All right. All right, so we're gonna start with Sabrina Harris. Let's give her a hand for completion of the 21-day Health is Wealth Challenge. And y'all, she was on there speaking some phenomenal things on there. So all the challenges are on my page except for the one from last night. So make sure that you guys go back and rewatch them if you haven't watched them. Thank you, Queen. Oh, hold on. Sorry, come back. Sorry. Sabrina, come back. Okay. Yes.
She got a bag.
That's Yasmina Wachter. Let's give her a hand, guys. Thank you so much. And if y'all have not, please pick up this young lady's book called Love You to Life. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate you.
And better coming out February 10th.
Say it again.
Better coming out February 10th.
Let's be looking for that. Let's go, Arthur. Oh, yeah.
It's okay. No, we're not.
LJ Johnson, aka Yeti Lindo. And I cannot wait to post his story from last night, y'all. This man was amazing last night. I was in tears watching him. Thank you.
We love Mr.
Appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
All right, Miss Osti. Herman Jill sent that challenge up, and I'm gonna tell you from day one, it was super amazing. Had everybody in the room crying.
That's my bestie.
I got a call the next day after they started setting. A man told me, "How dare you make a man cry?" So we good.
I got one. She's still. You want me to go check?
Okay, let's go back and sit around. Okay, the second round of certificates that we're gonna give out is some of you that are here in the room. You were also on the challenge, so we brought your certificates here tonight too, because we knew you would be here. Here she goes. Where's Jill? Okay. All right, there she goes. The lady that set the whole tone for the 21-day challenge. Give it up for Jill Tindall. Where's the camera? Thank you. Outside.
What's that?
That's your community service hours. You never know.
Oh, wait a minute. I ain't yet.
You better go, girl. Awesome. Thank you, Queen. All right, so the next certificate is going to start with a lot of other people that were on that challenge as well that did at least 5 or more hours. So, Dawn Mason. And Miss Dawn, I will give you your community service hours. I didn't have time for you, I'm sorry, but you'll get yours as well.
She said I'm cool.
One of our queens in training, queens. A picture. Okay, next we got Miss Ramona Washington. I walked. Did you? Thank you, Ramona.
Thank you for all the good food and stuff too.
Yes, one of our good cooks around here.
Yes, Lord.
Wait a minute. It's so
Good
pretty.
cooks.
I love snow.
It's snowing.
Oh,
Yeah, it was light
We're gonna
snow.
get y'all out of here too. Sharita Washington. Yay!
That's
Making that trans, making that trans.
You ain't good.
Oh, I'm good.
Kenneth Simpson.
Be dog.
Big dog.
He pimped to the stage. Thank you, Pimp.
Right.
Kendra Dalton. Yay. Yeah, you sure.
Stop.
Y'all know I'm silly. Unique barber.
Yeah, I get to give you that. I was short.
Oh, that's the short people. You the short people. You too, baby. Angela Jackson. Yes, ma'am.
Stay right there. Hold on. Got it.
Thank you.
I said, don't move yet.
And last but not least, I'll let you hold that yourself. We have Amanda Daughtry.
Oh, hold up. There we go. Look at
Awesome. So let's give yourselves a hand for the awesome 21-day Health is Wealth Challenge. Let's go. So our next goal, guys, after this is we would like to put together a